I'm here with Julian. We are talking Blkout. Now, this is a game that I've had on my eye on for a while, and this year there's Mechs in the case. So I had to come and I had to talk to you.
Absolutely.
How's the DefectiveDice going for you guys?
It is huge. We absolutely blew away last year. We're blowing away a bunch of goals.
That's awesome.
I don't know if we're going to come home with any problems. It's been insane, the outpouring of support from the local community.
I was trying to get footage of the Mechs that are out on display because it's a little easier not seeing them behind the glass.
Yeah.
And it took me like 4 passes around to come and find room because there were so many people crowded around it.
I had to push through to get in my booth
I bet.
in the morning.
I bet.
I'm like,
That's really exciting. So, for people who may not be familiar with Blkout, can you give us like the high-level pitch of what the game's about?
Yeah, absolutely. Blkout's fast, fun, no BS, right? You're playing under an hour on average. It's going to be incredibly lethal. 9 to 12 models on average for our skirmish size board, but you can easily scale it up to a 4x4 foot where the Mechs, we call them dusters, can drop into battle, engage guys, stomp on infantry, get it all done. It's going to be a near-future, hard sci-fi setting.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be the most realistic, authentic tactical miniatures round, right? We're not aiming muskets anymore. We got body armor on the robots. They're moving quickly, easily. I'm the designer, former Army. I make sure it looks as real as it gets.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you guys last year, and I remember there was a big emphasis on like making it feel like real squad tactics in the game because you know normally soldiers don't just run down the middle of an open corridor while they're getting shot at.
Yeah.
So it's all about kind of sticking to cover and stuff like that. Can you talk to me a little bit how that influences the design of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to be doing is trying to make it as easy as possible to pick up while being intuitive.
Right.
So if you're in the open, I'm going to roll 3 dice to hit you. Something between us 2, you're touching that thing 1. So it's not only tactilely kind of hand rewarding,
right,
but also easy to pick up on that level of it. So when it comes to the squad level tactics and how that influences cover, you're going to be dashing from cover to cover using shorter distances. The farther you move, the better chance they have of hitting you first on Overwatch. You want to provide covering fire, line it up. Yeah, man.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, and it feels very much like that, where you're really focusing on making sure that you stay in cover and ducking behind stuff instead of just going whole hog.
My favorite mechanic just to jump in is you can actually lean out from around corners.
Yes.
So when you're moving, you can place a little 25mm marker, touch your model with it, and you can see and be seen through it. You can engage guys from around corners and stuff because you're not going to walk them to a wall.
Right. Yeah.
Step out. You know?
I remember when first-person shooters first introduced that, and it was a big deal. And it's really cool to see that come to a miniatures game because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I know you're the miniatures guy. So and obviously the miniatures are beautiful. I got a whole bunch of pictures of them. Talk to me about the design of the factions in the game and kind of what they look like.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some overarching goals to kind of hit. We want to hit, it's a bit more internal talk, but we want to hit certain design aesthetics, right? We want that sci-fi look, Manticore, right? They're realistic, they're understandable, but they are a little bit more higher elevated sci-fi. They have big neck collars and visors, but they're using an old school AK chassis that you can recognize. We then have our more modern take on it, which is my favorite design, Harlow. They're recognizable plate carriers, gear, stuff like that, but they have some high-speed robots, night vision goggles and stuff like that. So it's very like near-future, realistic, semi-modern. But it's going to obviously perform at a much better kind of sci-fi vibe. Their guns are going to do better. They have like grenade launchers that shoot drones, stuff like that. And then of course we have our intermix, and we like to call it internally like the Titanfall design, right? So that's going to be heavily influenced by certain upcoming designs, technologies in modern military. So we're going to see more ablative armor, things like that might make them look more sci-fi, but in a way that's more understandable than like I have a clear visor. It's like an actual helmet that folds back and stuff like that.
And it's sort of inspired by like stuff we actually have in real life.
Exactly. Yes.
That's the thing that I think makes the aesthetic really cool is that you can kind of recognize there's touch points that you're like, oh, that looks kind of like something you'd see in real life, but it's a little future.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool, very cool. And then we recently introduced the Mechs into the game. How does that change? And I mean, you said Titanfall. It's obviously, there's an inspiration there.
Waiting for Titanfall 3.
I absolutely love Titanfall, and that's I think probably what first attracted me to the game. So is that a direct inspiration? I assume the answer is yes.
Yeah, to a certain extent, absolutely. So the Mechs have actually been around since the start of the game. But the thing with the Mechs is, the lore-wise, it takes place on like a colony planet, so you don't have a whole lot of like hardware, like tanks and heavier stuff you can drop in. So you take industrial equipment and you upgrade it and make it work. So you actually see like almost all the armor plates are like explosive reactive armor or just quick add-ons. Something that you can take an industrial unit that's lifting and also make it a battle unit. And of course, Titanfall's got some great designs for actually usable things. Cockpits that fold up, hatches from the top. And it's like, that's how I get into it in real life. It works. I
love seeing those little hard sci-fi touches where everything looks pretty realistic. Last question, maybe the most important. If folks want to get into the game, what's the best entry point? What's the that you look for?
Yeah, absolutely. 2-player starter box. It's kind of our lost leader product. Drop you right into it, get going. game's going to start out great on like a 2x2 foot board, like I mentioned, 9 to 12 models. That's going to get you and a friend everything you need to play the game.
Yeah.
So you get that starter box, get rolling, and then as you go from there, we sell easy expansions, and of course the dusters themselves. It's a great scale up to it.
Yeah. And what, just to get an idea of model count, you said there's a couple different levels that you can play it at.
Yeah.
What's the ballpark on the number of models we're talking?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2x2 to 3x3 foot board are like tournament fast rounds. It's going to be 9 to 12 models per player.
Excellent.
But then once you get past that, we call it groups, right? Once you get to a 2 or 3 group game, you're looking at up to 24 models on like a 3x3 board before it gets like a slog moving.
Gotcha.
It scales really easily because you'll activate a unit of 4 models.
That's it.
They all move, but then afterwards they make individual actions.
Gotcha.
Shoot or move again, giving you that small unit tactic feel while also keeping the pace of the game up.
Right. Very cool. So, and how many models come in that starter box?
Yeah, it's going to be the starter box is going to be 8 and 7, but they have like a mini mech in each one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give you a taste of it.
Very cool. So that's definitely the best place to jump in. And it comes with a rulebook, I assume?
Yep, rulebook, tokens, dice. Our rulebook's a nice spiral bound, very small. It flaps up. It's only like 40 pages of rules.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot. It's actually very small. Check it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely go on the website and check it out. I'll leave a link below so people can get there easy.
Cool.
Stay tuned for more from Adepticon 2025. I'd like to send a huge thank you to the extremely cool kids here on Patreon, the Steam Powered Scoundrels, Dogmatize, Devin, and Spanner Rider. And thanks for watching.